Yes, people. Welcome back to the live stream again. We are live and direct for Preston versus Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Make sure you are smashing the likes on the channel, subscribing to the channel, of course. How many likes? We're on 9 likes already. What the hell? That is good. Make sure you smash them up. Let's hope it's not as bad as yesterday. Yeah, the football was bad, man. Jesus Lord, it was. Going for 3-0 Villa. Yeah, man, get to 10 likes ASAP. The channel's faster growing. I think we gained like 11 subscribers yesterday. Yeah, we're very close to 730 now. Still annoyed after yesterday. Losing on pens. Let's go. Should be 2 good games today. The games should be good today. So we've got 2 games on today. And yeah, let me actually get the game on already because that would help. Not sure where my remote is. It's there. All right, let's get that on ready. Right, I think we're connected. What channel's the football on? BBC iPlayer or something? Probably one of the two. I'd love a cup upset. Bournemouth and Preston wins. See if it's on BBC iPlayer. Here it is. Preston, Aston Villa. Watch live. Thank you very much. Alright, let me move all this stuff on my desk. $10 likes. I think we just hit 10 likes. Wow. Appreciate it, man. I do honestly appreciate it. Let me reconnect the audio. One sec. One second. Right, we're back. We're all synced up. The game, well, the players are all about to walk out. We're going to go through the lineups. Now. Let me just check a few things. Right, let's go. So the Aston Villa lineup is Martinez, Digne, Mings, Konza, Cash, Kamara, Tielemans, Rashford, Ramsey, Morgan Rogers, Asensio for Preston, Cornell, Stoney, Gibson, Hughes, Maruma, Jensen, Whitman, Thunderson, Brady, Keane, and Joe. Is that Jacobson? Is that how you pronounce? And obviously the benches below. Preston got a couple of players out. Ross Barkley's the only man that's really out for them. They've actually got some decent depth to bring off the bench though, but they've got the likes of McGinn, Marlon, Watkins you can bring off. But to be honest, I do expect them to get the job done. I am going to go for 3-0. You know what? Because it's FA Cup and you never know, I'll go 2-0 Aston Villa. But I will, yeah, like I said, I would love a cup exit. But yeah, make sure you are smashing that like button. Players are literally not far from coming out. So we're slowly right. I've just put in the chat some bits and bobs. What is going on here? Right, 1 second. Right, we are all good to go. Players are still walking out. Jesus, it's a long walk. Isn't this stadium called is it called the Deepdale? I think it's called the Deepdale, this stadium, isn't it? Watch, yes. What time do football fixtures? So we got going through this. So I'm going through this, right? There's actually some good games on today that I wouldn't mind keeping an eye on. So we're going live for both of those. I kind of want to go live for the Barcelona Girona, you know. Then you got Napoli Milan as well. I might go live. So this game should be done by. So if this game can be done for maybe before 3:15, we could go live straight on the next stream and go live for Barcelona Girona. We could do that. Yeah, make sure you are liking. Bournemouth and Preston wins. I'd love, but my actual prediction is 1-0 Villa. Rodgers. Interesting predictions, mate. Let me go back to this so you can see the lineups as well. Once that refreshes, I'll be able to get the timer up there as well. Obviously, game's not kicked off yet. But it's going to be an interesting game because Aston Villa, they're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. For me, you could argue Aston Villa are probably the favourites for the competition. Yeah, we know that Manchester City can turn up at any given day, but Aston Villa right now in the Cups this season, they've been consistent in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, quarterfinals of the FA Cup, competing for Europe. This is a competition where Aston Villa should be really aiming to win, and they should be probably getting to the final, to be honest. I'd fancy him to beat a Crystal Palace. I'd fancy him to, Forest would be interesting. And Midlands, what's that? Midlands Derby? That'd be interesting. But yeah, we are underway. Kickoff has just happened. Make sure you're tapping up the like button, subscribing to the channel. We're 4 subs away from 730. And I believe we're on 9 or 10 or so likes. So we want to keep smashing that. Is obviously the goal. So make sure you do so. Right. Put my phone on charge. And then I think what I'm going to do is once the games are done, we'll do a match reaction to the FA Cup games. So, yeah. Smash them likes, people. Subscribe. Preston taking on Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Your score predictions down below. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an interesting game. It really is. 9 major trophies won as a manager. Unai Emery, can he win his 10th major with Aston Villa? What a mad trajectory he's been on. Everyone thought he was finished as a manager. By the way, what did he do at Arsenal? Blah blah. In his first full season, he got on Champions League, just off Champions League football, and he got them to a Europa League final. And then he was in 6th place, and he was a couple of points off top 4. He's gone, and then he went to Villarreal, won a Europa League, and beating Manchester United in the final. So, interesting. What's this? Hi, will Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk finalise their contract extensions with LFC with FSG ownership? Will Liverpool going to sign anyone in the transfer window? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. You never walk alone. Build up yourself, bro, for the kind words. Subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it, mate. I think Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah will sign their respective contracts, in my opinion. And look, Liverpool will sign players. I'm not trying to say I'm in the know or anything like that, but Liverpool will sign players this summer. I believe personally we'll go and sign a Kirkes, a left back, a centre back. Obviously, we are heavily linked with Alexander Isak. The midfield department is going to be really interesting. What we're going to do with the goalkeeping situation as well. With Madavashvili, I don't think he's had a particularly great season. Kelleher could potentially leave in the football club. But yeah, there's a lot to keep an eye on, mate. And we're keeping up to date with the latest Liverpool news on the channel. So if you want to subscribe, we'll also do other football club content where we go live and give our match reactions and stuff like that to other football games as well. So it's not just Liverpool content, just other content. But big up yourself, bro. I do think they will sign. I do think can you give a breakdown, analysis, and review of the Champions League, FA Cup, and EFL Cup? Well, Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, didn't they? They obviously beat Liverpool in the final, where Liverpool were awful. They didn't show up, and obviously Newcastle wanted it more, well and truly. And in the Champions League, if you're asking me, who do I think wins the competition? Real Madrid. They've been there, done that. They've done it every single year under the cosh, or many times. People write off Real Madrid in the competition. You look at last season as a prime example. They should have been 4-0 down in the final against Borussia Dortmund. They should have lost against Leipzig in the round of the 16. So I think my base off my prediction of Real Madrid winning the Champions League is, I think it will become correct. And the FA Cup, it's an interesting competition because all the big six teams are out the competition. You know, you've got the likes of Aston Villas in there. You've got your Bournemouths, your Crystal Palaces, your Nottingham Forests up there. You've still got Manchester City in there, of course. But when was the last time we had all these so-called big six teams out by the quarterfinals? It was very rare. Like Liverpool losing to Plymouth, Man United obviously going out to Fulham, Chelsea went out to Aston Villa. So the FA Cup is really interesting this season. As a neutral, where Liverpool aren't in it, I'm hoping for maybe a Crystal Palace Bournemouth final. I just think it'd be making a good change. You know, to see other clubs win a trophy. I've always said it for many years. What's my alarm going off? I've always said it for many years, mate, about the FA Cup. Other than the big six teams, so like your Man Cities, your Liverpools, they should be aiming to win the league and the Champions League every year. Your Aston Villas and your Bournemouths of these world, the teams that are competing for around about the 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th spots, they should be aiming to win the FA Cup because realistically, they're not going to win the big two trophies, are they? And the aim of elite sport is to win trophies. So, your teams like Aston Villas who are playing today, they should be aiming to win the FA Cup. And it's going to be interesting to see how they do against Paris Saint-Germain, you know, because Liverpool didn't do too great against them over two legs. But we know Unai Emery, you know, he's good at setting up game plans. And I don't think Villa will get battered, to be honest with you. I actually think it's going to be a close game, to be honest. I really do, especially at Villa Park. Smash the likes and subscribe, people. We're winning. Who you got for the Europa League? Bilbao. I think Atletico Bilbao or Eintracht Frankfurt will win the Europa League. Lazio. We will not pursue the of Isaac 150 mil. That doesn't align with FSG's strategy model, and we can sell players for a reasonable price, generate money for transfers. I agree with partially with your comment, mate. The only thing I disagree with is FSG strategy. We've seen them under many times. We've seen many times Liverpool have broken transfer records. 100 million euros for Darwin Núñez, 75 million for Virgil van Dijk, 60 million for Dominic Szoboszlai, 65 million for Alisson Becker. So Liverpool, you know, we do spend money and we do tend to break transfer records. You know, we put on £115 million bid in for Moises Caicedo, which obviously Moises Caicedo respectively turned us down. So for me, it's more about whether Liverpool can't afford him. Liverpool can afford him. The history and what we could potentially do in the summer in terms of selling suggests that we could possibly get Isak. It's whether he comes to Liverpool or not. Via if Newcastle get Champions League football, whether Newcastle prices out and move. If Isak literally says like, yo, I'd happily go to Liverpool, and Liverpool say, look, here's 100 million plus Jarrell Kwanzaa, which we've seen the past couple of days from the Athletic and many other sources, that Newcastle value Kwanzaa at 30 million plus add-ons. You plus 100 million that, hey, that's sorts Isak out now. And then if you think about it, Liverpool are going to be selling Darwin Núñez for probably about 60 million. So that's a massive chunk recuperated. Possibly a Luis Diaz for 40 to 50 million. So if Liverpool can sell well this window, we can buy well. Liverpool Everton, who is going to win? I think Liverpool win, mate. I'm confident we beat Everton in this time around. I feel like we got to the occasion of Goodison Park of last time. There's a good counter attack here. Morgan Rogers cleared away from Preston, corner to Aston Villa. To be honest with you, mate, I think the occasion everything got to us. You know, it's the last good derby at Goodison Park. Everton were actually in really good form under Moyes. We was in that sort of sticky patch where we had a couple of results not go our way. We obviously lost to Plymouth Argyle within that time. We dropped points to also Aston Villa. So we was in a bit of a purple patch, you could argue, where we wasn't playing as good as we was. But I think after what's happened to us in recent weeks regarding going at the Champions League, going at the Cup final, I'm expecting to see a performance at Anfield. I always expect Liverpool to turn up at Anfield against anyone. The only team that I'll somewhat accept losing to, it's not like I accept losing, but I can understand why we probably lose, is Real Madrid. Other than that, I expect Liverpool to beat anyone at Anfield. If we sell Kwanzaa, who is our centre back if Konaté and Gomez are injury prone and VVD hasn't signed the contract extension? I think if Kwanzaa leaves, if Jarrell Kwanzaa leaves, let's just say Jarrell, for example, Jarrell Kwanzaa go to Newcastle, right? That's done. Liverpool could potentially sell Joe Gomez. I think he's only got 1 or 2 years left on his deal. I think Liverpool would either go and get Hato, who could be a backup centre-back option. We could go and get a Hoyson. But we know Liverpool sometimes, a lot of our transfer movers aren't in the media. Some of them can just come out of the blue just like that. Within a couple of minutes, Liverpool could be, very close to buying someone. Liverpool move very quickly in the transfer market when they want to and need to. But I personally wouldn't sell Jarrell Kwanzaa. I feel like Jarrell Kwanzaa, he had a sticky start to the start of the season. He only just came through to the club really last year. Nat Phillips and Reece Williams will be going on to be released. Yeah, 100%. I'm surprised, mate, they've not actually left. Yeah. Who do we get left wing if Jota and Diaz leaves? It's going to be interesting to see what Liverpool do in that market. Because from what we know, let's just do this. Based off reports and talks and stuff, it looks like we know who we want probably in the left back position, the centre back position. The left wing position's interesting. For me, Cody Gakpo starts off left wing, but yes, we do. Of course, we need cover. Because I think Diaz will probably go to Barca or Saudi. We need a winger, man. To be honest, the left wing market, my dream left winger is Rodrigo from Real Madrid. We ain't gonna sign him. Is Conor Bradley posed to emerge from Trent's shadow, get game time, achieve match fitness? I mean, I'd love him to. I'd love him to. But we still need, of course, we need a right back, mate. Because if we was to sell a Joe Gomez on Kwanzaa, we actually have no backup right back. Who will Liverpool FC going to sell Robertson or Tsimikas? In my opinion, this is my opinion, Tsimikas. I think what the club thinks is it's probably easier to sell a Tsimikas for market value with age and stuff like that than a Robertson with a 1 year left on his deal. I think what's going to happen is Robertson will leave for free next summer. And I think he'll go and retire at Celtic. Or he'll do a James Milner and he might sign an extra 1 or 2 year extensions and then go to Celtic and retire. That's what I think with Robbo, to be honest. But yeah, it's going to be certainly interesting. Can't wait for the transfer window. Does Bajcetic, Dan's Owen Bet Morton and Oak have a future? I think Bajcetic does. 100%. I think Bajcetic has a massive future at Liverpool still. Jaden Dan's obviously injured right now. And obviously, he's currently on loan at Sunderland. I think he'll go back out on loan next season. To be honest with you, I think Jaden Dan's will go back out on loan. If I'm being honest. Tyler Owen Beck. He'll probably be sold, to be honest. Same with Tyler Morton. Ben Doak is interesting because he's had a very good season at Middlesbrough. I spoke to 2 Middlesbrough fans on Twitter, and I've been tuning into some of their games here and there when it's been on Sky and stuff. I've watched some of their highlights. I've watched particularly just keeping an eye on Ben Doak in particular, and he's looked very good, man. He's looked very, very good. For me personally, I would like Ben Doak to go on loan. I do not want to sell him. There was reports last summer that Liverpool potentially would have sold him. Absolutely not. I do not want to sell him. Maybe keep him out. Sell him. If you think about it, we could probably get 25 maybe million for Ben Doak. If he goes and has another good loan spell in the Prem, we can get more money from him. Kirkus, Hoyson, Isaac, and a winger dream window. I agree. Kirkus 100% has been my first choice left back all season. Hoyson, I'll definitely take. Isaac, obviously. I think Isaac's the most realistic out of the lot. Will Rio get game time next season? I reckon he might. He could have a part to play in the Cups. But he's looked too good to be. He's looked. Oh my God. Could we have a goal here? Morgan Rogers. Quality player, man. I'd love him at Liverpool. That's another player I think Liverpool should be looking at. Can play off the left, can play in the 10. But do I think Rio's too good for his age bracket? I would like to see him potentially go on loan. There's nothing wrong with sending a 17-year-old out on loan to the championships. Look how many times we've done it with Harvey Elliott, Tyler Morton. Ben Doak has gone out on loan. I think he's just not long turned 17. What do you think of Jones and Elliott? I think Curtis Jones will keep. I think we might sell him. I've got a feeling we might sell Harvey Elliott. I just don't think he's in Slot's plans, even though I'd want to keep him. Pure and simply due to the fact of I think there's a player there. Alexander Isak is too much. I think, look, like I said, mate, yes, I know what you're saying and I agree with what you're saying. But I think it more or less depends on Liverpool have been proven to break transfer records and spend big money. For me, I'm not saying we're going to sign Isak. I'm not saying that, right? But I don't think it's impossible for Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak. But what do you think of Endo at LFC, man? I love Endo. He's he's the guy that just comes on, sees up shot with 15, 20 minutes to go when it's 2-1, 2-1, 1-0. And he does a job, man. And I think I saw a stat. When Endo has come off the bench, Liverpool have not conceded. And if you think about it, the late goals that we have conceded this season, like your Evertons, like your Newcastle aways, we've not brought Endo on. Dibbling isn't worth 100 million, more like 30 million to 40 million max. English tax, English age range, and English inflation overpriced him. I did see something about that, about Dibbling. To be honest, I actually don't rate him as highly as everyone else does. Would I take Rodgers at Liverpool? To be honest, I would. Yes, I would take Rodgers at Liverpool Football Club. For the price, I don't know. I can't lie. I think we might sign someone, a Pendo, someone like that, Sesko. Well, I think it is clear that Liverpool will buy a forward this summer. With the Darwin Núñez's of this world, Diaz is potentially going. Liverpool will, I think, the left back position and the forward line position, it is nailed on that Liverpool will go and buy. 100%. Who that is a different question. Is it Isak? Is it Sesko? Is it Openda? Is it a Jokeres? Is it, whoever? What player profiles are we targeting for recruitment? Potential or proven nines? Money is an important factor. Well, James Pearce did release something. Now, take things with a pinch of salt, what James Pearce says. But he did say something on the lines of bringing down the wage structure. Obviously the wage bill and stuff like that, and going back to the model of young players with a point to prove that have the capability of being more class. So you make of that of what you will. Whether you believe that, whether you don't, it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we signed someone like an Openda, Sesko. I would even take a look at Jokeres, man. I think he's got, what is it, a 70 mil release clause? It's 100 million euros, 70 million, something like that. Liverpool should be all over that one as well. Not even just Isak. But if you are in the stream, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 730 subscribers. We are 4 subs away. Subscribe, like, and share and do all those things. Much appreciated to the channel. This game's been just heavily dominated from Aston Villa. They're trying to play into the wide areas of the likes of Rodgers and the Rashfords and try and get those threaded balls, but they've not had any massive clear-cut chances as of yet. Diaz, Nunes, Jota, Dan's, Beck, Morton, Elliott, Simicas, Kelleher, Gomez, Bajicic, Doak, Endo, going to be sold. Release Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, Calvin Ramsey, FSG, generate money from transfers. You never walk alone. So is that who you think will be sold? Is that who you think will be sold? We'll go through all the names. Diaz, I think, will go to a Barcelona or Saudi Arabia if Nico Williams from Bilbao doesn't go. Jota, there's been links with Wolves. There's been links with Newcastle. You know, he could potentially go abroad. He could go somewhere, anywhere. I think he wants to still continue play Champions League football if he wants to leave, though, which would be interesting. So keep an eye on that one. The Jota one's interesting for me because I feel like Jota, I'm not saying I'm going to give him a pass for this season. The thing is with Jota, right, it's been his injuries, of course, in previous seasons. His injury record this season hasn't been nowhere near as bad as previous seasons, right? But he's not played well. Would you give him a free pass? Because your Diaz's, your Darwins of these worlds have been given many seasons. You know, this is Jota's only somewhat bad season. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Dan's, I think, will go on loan. Beck will be sold. Morton will be sold. Elliott, I think, unfortunately, will be sold even though I want to keep him. Simicas, I think, will be sold. Keller will be sold, I think, because he's only got 1 year left on his contract. Gomez, yes, I could see. Bajicic, I think we either keep or loan. Doak, I think we either keep or loan. Endo, I think we either keep, although there is potential rumours of an transfer that does, if they are to get Champions League football, they want Endo. How much Liverpool charge? 10 mil. I would still keep him, to be honest. Going to be sold. Yeah, Nat Phillips, I think, will be released. Reece Williams. Calvin Ramsey is an interesting one because I remember when we signed him. Now, I believe we actually did. Now, didn't Calvin Ramsey go out on. Because we got him from Scotland, didn't we? Somewhere. I think it was no, it wasn't Aberdeen. Somewhere else. Because remember, I think he did a loan spell as well. at Preston, or was it Blackburn? It was one of the two clubs. And obviously, he's had a couple of injury problems as well. Interesting one with him. But yeah, of course. The FSG model is very simple. All the money that Liverpool make from the season, from competitions, from commercial, will all be going into FSG's pockets. What we make from transfers will be our transfer budget. Rate slot season out of 10. 9 for you. For me, it's a 9. He's coming in his first season, making no signings. Now, don't give me the talk about Federico Chiesa. I love Federico Chiesa. I think he's a baller when he can stay fully fit. But let's be real with this. Madarashvili is obviously in for next season. He's coming in his first full season, basically no signings. A Klopp team that everyone thought was on the somewhat of the decline-ish. Barring certain areas, and obviously rebuilding the midfield was still good. Certain other qualities of the player, but everyone thought the system and everything died out. Hence why we only walked away with the Carabao Cup, and we fell off with the league and the Europa League, etc. And he's coming in his first full season, and he's about to win a Premier League title. For me, if you win a Premier League, that's already a 9 out of 10 season. And also, it's his first season. What were your assessments of the UCL PSG match first and 2 legs, the Newcastle FA Cup final, loss on the Plymouth FA Cup loss and Nottingham Forest loss, EPL match home and away? Also, Chiesa needs to be sold too. Why didn't LFC buy any in January? To be honest, I think the reason why we just didn't buy in January was because simply we might as well just Liverpool's. When did Liverpool? Although you can't really say Liverpool don't do big business in January. Some of our best signings have come in January. We've signed, what was it? We signed Suarez in January. We've signed Van Dijk in January before. Did we sign Coutinho in January as well? So at times we have done big business in January, but the club probably just thought we didn't. There was no point really. We might as well just wait for the summer, because Liverpool's targets are more probably summer transfers rather than January transfers. Also, yeah, Diaz in January. Signed Luis Diaz, didn't we, from Porto in January? So we do business in January from time to time. But the answer to your other question, I mean, look, we've only lost one game all season. PSG, we got bad. And to put it really briefly, Forest, we only lost once all season. And yeah, to lose only once in the league is mad so far. And obviously PSG, I thought was good in the second leg, but that was the one game where Arne Slot's tactics, he got it wrong. We won 1-0 up. We didn't have to. There was no need to go gun ho and get a second. Let PSG come at us and give them on the counter attack. Literally like we got the RV goal. And the FA Cup, I'll be honest, mate, we was just crap against Argyle, weren't we? So it was just garbage. If Chiesa can get fit, I'd keep him, yes. Do you like Mbeumo, Kudus, Delap, Hoyson, and Belaba? Mate, if you're saying that's who if you're saying who you think will sign in those positions, I'll take it. Do I like Mbeumo? Yes, I do. I would get Tim Buemo. I won't mind that signing. Kirk, Kudus, 100%. Kudus is a baller, man. Proper baller. I love him. Kirkes, big fan of him. He's the left back I want. Delap. But there's potential with Delap. But again, there was potential with Darwin Núñez. Hoyson I like. Belabra, yes, I do like. I thought it was very good yesterday, by the way, against Forest. Is it just me slot as more of a league manager than a cup manager? But he'll get more of experience as time goes on. I've seen a few people. You've seen the Salah Insta story. I did. I have seen that. To be fair, I don't make anything of it, like some people are. No, I don't make anything of it as well, to be honest. The FSG model focuses on development, progression, and learning, and leaning of players from aged 20 to 24. Yeah, you're right. But that doesn't mean we can't sign. That doesn't mean we can't go and get an Isak. Because history tells us that Liverpool do spend big. And if we can recuperate our money, and if it's for the right player, Liverpool will pay the money. Do you know what I mean? Still 0-0 in this game. It is still 0-0. No goals. Rashford has got a corner. It wasn't a great corner. We could have played Aston Villa in the quarterfinal if we won PSG. Both legs. This is just if, but, and maybe. Look, we got unlucky. We went out on penalties. It is what it is. You know, penalties are a coin flip. And to be fair to PSG, they do have good penalty kick takers. And our strategy around the penalties were wrong. Virgil van Dijk probably should have took one. Probably should have kept maybe a McAllister on. Because did McAllister come off not long before penalties? So, and obviously Donnarumma, you see, he's done it so many times for PSG and for his country. So it's not really a surprise. We could have won at home in the second leg. I agree, mate. You are not wrong, my friend. We wasn't as aggressive as enough in the EFL Cup final against Newcastle. To be honest, I agree. I think just Newcastle wanted it more. I think they wanted, the pain of not having a trophy for 70 years. It seems like Liverpool were arrogant, reluctant, lethargic. It wasn't an embarrassing performance, to be honest. It was the worst cup final from a Liverpool's perspective in my lifetime. I've never seen Liverpool perform that badly in a final in my lifetime. When do you think we win the title? Tottenham at home. I reckon we win it against Leicester. But Arsenal's next two, Fulham and Everton, could easily drop points. And we win the next two, would be like a win or two away then. Yeah, we would. And I would love that. How many likes are we on? We're on 10 or 11 likes. How many subscribers? People, if you are tuned in, we're 4 subs from 730. Drop a like, subscribe, shout to your uncle, your nan, your auntie, your mum, your sister, your dog, whatever. Let's get to 730 subs quickly as possible. Oh! Cleared away there. Villa had to clear it. Dangerous opportunity that for Preston. They're having a bit of success here. And the referee pulls it back. If you are not watching the game, it has been, all Aston Villa, if I'm being honest. Yep, and everyone storms down the tunnel. But yeah, people, just put a few stuff in the chat. We are on that road. Smash them like, subscribe. It is half time, so get your half-time questions in. I'm going to be back in about 10 or so minutes, a couple of minutes before the second half. I'm going to go to the toilet, get a drink, and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll be back in about 10 or so minutes for the second half of Preston Aston Villa in the FA Cup quarterfinals. Will this be another goalless 90 minutes? We'll have to wait and see. We will see you in 10 minutes. Right, we're back. Back for the second half. Let's go. Second half is underway. Let's get the banner up. Right, let's go through some of these comments. We will be hopefully not another I was just checking the audio. Hopefully not another goalless 90. Villa still win this 1 or 2-0. Being better, just need to take a chance and make better opportunities. Not been as good, but dominating the game. Imagine if it goes pens another 0-0. Yeah, hopefully not, mate. Let's hope not. However, Kirkers and Hudson watch later. We will be there, yeah, for Bournemouth, Manchester City. We're going live on that. For that stream in just over 90 minutes. So, yeah. We will be there. It goes live for the game later, and it's a 0-0, bro. Peak levels, second off, let's go, yeah. Preston upset. Yeah, bro. Imagine a Preston upset. Bro, that'll be sick, man. Yeah, I would not mind a Preston upset. I'll be honest. Preston growing in confidence. I'll tell you that. Preston are growing in confidence. That's the thing. They've got to take their chance. They have to take their chance, Preston, because Villa will have chances in the second half. Cleared. Preston have started well in the second half. Oh no, that's a terrible touch. Oh no, he recovers it. Oh, good save. How have Villa not capitalised? How have Aston Villa not capitalised there? Should be scoring there, and it should be 1-0. I don't know what's happened to my fucking game. I do apologise. Let me fix that. I'm trying to think if they could bring off the bench. I would bring on maybe a Daniel Martin, bring on a Nonana, take off a Tielemans, bring on a Watkins and Marlon, and then put Asensio in behind. Maybe move Ramsey to the left. That's something you could potentially do. Just creates a different dynamic. Rodgers is a baller. Rashford's still average. 1 second. You got any plans for Easter? Well, in terms of like Easter holidays and that. Well, I'm going to the boxing at the end of the month. I'm going to Anfield. Other than that, that's about it, mate. Just chill, stream, and do other bits and bobs. You know what I mean? You know, 800 subs ain't gonna get itself, is it? You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? I actually give up with some people. Yeah, you're active, but okay, whatever. This is going extra time. What is it with the lack of goals? No idea, mate. Aston Villa have scored, by the way. Oh shit, they actually have scored. Aston Villa scored. Marcus Rashford. Because they're flipping. Now I've got to get the game back up because I've clicked off it on my flipping BBC iPlayer. Let me get it back up. But yeah, Rashford has scored. I know exactly what I'm going to do now. Let's update all the scores. I agree. I think I said 2-0 in my prediction. I said 2-0 Aston Villa in my prediction. What is going on here? Fuck's sakes. Two 0 Aston Villa now. It's 2-0. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Aston Villa will go and win this comfortably now. Now they've got the breakthrough. 2-0. That's probably game over, to be honest. That is game over. Yeah, there's no way Aston Villa bottle this. So you Aston Villa fans can relax. You will be going to Wembley in a cup semi-final, sorry, where you'll play what so far. So it's going to be what so far: Crystal Palace, Forest, and then I have a Man City with Brentford. The Saints. Yeah, just check Twitter for somehow. It's just a very easy Rashford goal, to be honest with you. And then obviously Rashford doubles the lead from the penalty spot. I think that's his first goal. He scored twice today. Mr. Marcus Rashford. Going to be on for a hat trick. That will be interesting. Yep. Forest. Yeah, man, it's mad. But the thing is, I like that because it's interesting. You know, as a neutral, that's what we want. We want, you know, if Liverpool aren't in it, I want it to be interesting. I want it to be exciting. You know what I mean? But yeah, 22 minutes here to go. Flag stay down there as well. Rogers should have done better. Should have been 3-0. Should have been 3-0. Man, I wish we were still in the FA Cup. Game over. Ramsey 3-0. What a finish by Jacob Ramsey. Lovely just strength. Keeper should probably be doing better, but game over. Yeah, goodbye. You can get left unopened. Yeah, I know. Same, I wish we were still in the FA Cup. I wish we were still in the FA Cup too. Let me just do this. Let me just check some stuff on the stream. If you are watching, make sure you smash that like, subscribe. Road to 800. Right, I want to go and refill the water, and we shall be back in a minute. Right, we're back. Is the Man City Bournemouth teams out? Let's have a look. Yep, smash them likes. 2-2 Man City Bournemouth later. Bournemouth and Pens. I'll tell you what, I'm gassed for the next 3 weeks of footy. Premier League is back, UCL and Europa quarterfinals. All should be a class to watch. My early UCL prediction. Real Madrid beat Arsenal, I agree. Inter beat Bayern, I agree. PSG Bilbao, I agree. Barca beat Dortmund, I agree. Madrid Barca is the final is the dream, surely, for everyone if you're a neutral. Yeah. I agree with the predictions. Crap, I need to update that, don't I? Whoops. Stinker. I'll get my next stream ready soon. We'll be going live in just under an hour. So by the time this finishes, we'll be back live in basically 15 minutes. Effectively. We've done another solid 2 hours today. Will Villa get one more before the game ends? Ball's whipped. Head. Oof, could have been 4-0 Kamara. No, it's not Kamara, sorry, that's Ramsey. Rashford wins player of the match. To be honest, I'd probably agree. You could go Rashford, Ramsey's played good through the middle. Rashford, he's led the line well, scored his penalty, scored a decent finish. You could argue him or Ramsey for me, who's player of the matches today. Watkins and Marlin. That's a foul. Alright, let's set up that. And that should be full time any second. Full time at the detail any minute. And that is full time. Preston 0, Aston Villa 3. Goals by Marcus Rashford and Jacob Ramsey. Preston exit the FA Cup and Aston Villa are through to the FA Cup semi-final. They're in an FA Cup semi-final, a Champions League quarter-final. What a season Unai Emery's having again at Aston Villa. Could silverware be on the line for them this season? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Smash the like, subscribe. We'll be back live again in about 49 minutes, so just under 15 minutes time. We'll be live for the Bournemouth Manchester City watch-along. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and all those good things. Take care, and we are out. I'm just going to post the links in the chat for that. So get these all up in the chat. Give me a sec. So there's the links. So just click the link or whatever, it will take you to the stream, which is in 48 minutes time. So take care, and we'll be back then. Ta-da.